It's been 35 years since the great Niki Lauda took his 25th and final Grand Prix victory at the track we are going to be visiting tonight in Zandvoort for European Racing Series Tier 2. Hello everybody, good evening. How is everybody doing? My name is Jess and I will be your commentator today. Well, last week we saw a little bit of a change of the old guard where Alex unfortunately had connection issues and the game unfortunately disqualified him from the race results, which is a bit of a shame, which means we saw Maranello Baby take his second win of the season and a fully well-deserved victory at that. Because of this, that puts him in the lead of the Drivers' Championship with 73 points. Alex Bitto in second with 65 points, Cryptic in third with 58 points, fourth place is Zora with 37 points. Fifth place is TX606 with 24 points. Sixth place is JQR with 20 points. Paddock in seventh with 18 points. Eighth place is Ryzen with 17 points. Ninth place is Sig with 16th, joint with Kalissa. 11th is Burke with 14 points. 12th is Ixana with 6 points. 13th is Max with 5 points. 14th is Furball with 4 points. Hixie is 15th with 1 point, and everybody else, which is Set, Hydra Dan, Jack, Pavel, and Black Sheep, yet to score. So a little bit of information about the track. Zandvoort is 4.259 kilometers long with 14 turns, 4 to the left and 10 to the right, and we've got 2 DRS zones for overtaking, and that is where we can see a lot of the action here tonight. So, without further ado, if I get my switchy thingy. So without further ado, I am going to kick start it with qualifying. So here we go. If I just get all my settings going, there we go. And unmute the game and go straight to the action. So 18 drivers here today, and lap times we could expect to be in the 1010s/109s, maybe 108s maybe for Tier 2. We'll have to wait and see. We're currently riding on board with the amazing Zorro, who has done not too bad in the past couple of rounds. Zorro getting a 4th place last week in China. He's looking to score one better in Zandvoort. Now, Zandvoort is known for being a real old school track due to its fast bank and challenging corners, just like that, right on cue. There goes Zorro and binned it in the gravel. Now that's where the bits of the gravel trap will start to catch a few people out. So something to watch out for here at the moment. So we got a few people setting lap times. TX on a pole position at the moment. Already in the 109, so potentially my predictions are probably slightly gone off the pot, but there we go. And the first actual Dutch Grand Prix was held in 1952, and the first actual winner of that Grand Prix was Alberto Ascari in the Ferrari. Now, I'm going to see if anyone is about to start a lap. I think I've called very bad timing, because I know Bitto's about to cross the line on the medium tyres. So here he goes. He's in second place. Now, he's looking to redeem himself from last week. Obviously, he got very unlucky. And for those of you who don't remember, I pretty much ranted in the chat due to basically what happened, and I got like very, very annoyed, and yeah, hopefully that he just gets a little bit of issue sorted out with his internet and stuff like that. I suffered from a similar issue on the PS4 on Saturday, where I disconnected for no reason. When I tried to rejoin though, the frame rates were dropping magnificently bad. So hopefully we won't see that tonight, and hopefully we'll see an improvement, because he's not leading the championship right now. And we've got Valu, and the one thing that you've noticed as well, the McLaren have now got the updated rainbow on the halo, which is honestly, it looks pretty cool. We live as one. I do believe there's some more changes as well, even though there's some bits of the Ferrari livery that look absolutely wrong, but there we go. It's quite a few people now are going in to the pit lane to basically just get a set of tyres. I'm surprised a lot more people are on the softs, but if I was them, probably qualifying on the softs would be the best option for the race. Because if you're on the mediums, the tyre delta is going to be very, very different. Now, according to my calculations, that 12 to 14 is where we could expect people to pit here today. And the delta being around about a second of time loss between the softs and the mediums. And then we're at 1.5 between the mediums and the hards. So that is something that these guys will need to consider as Max goes into pit 2. We may as well go on board with a hot lap with Ryden in a minute as he's on this out lap. But we've got Meto, who's purple in sector 2. He's been looking quite impressive in Zandvoort. One of the shortest laps on the calendar, as well as Austria and Monaco. And we've got that to come later on in the season. Monaco, I believe, is around 7, I think. I think it's after Spain, almost certainly. So they won't have to wait that long for that. So let's put on board with Ryden as he's about to start his hot lap. And hopefully I won't get cursed by doing this. So you're going to get in the DRS line as early as you possibly can here. And you're going to go to the start finish straight. For turn 1, you need to look at the 150 metre board. First marker on the left. Go in deep as you hit that. Late apex. Go full throttle Sakari straight. Your turning point is over here. Stay as tight as you can. Drift out a little bit. And then come back. Short shift to third gear and then to fourth. Go flat out as you hit full throttle going through this left and going up the hill. Look for the left-hand yellow board. And that's where you brake just a little bit to go to 6th gear. And then just before the 50 metre board, that's when your next braking point is. And then you're going to be short shifting to 4th, third, then 4th. He's gone into the grass a little bit there, so he's lost a bit of time in the second sector. He's getting quite a lot in the first sector though. Now minimise traction here, open the DRS. Your next braking point is before the curve starts on the left. Then to the right and then to the left again. Really aggressive here, going to the right. Next reference is here into this little banking. Go on the power early on, go tight to the right hand side. Open the DRS. And there you go, to complete the lap around Zandvoort. And what lap time does he improve to? 1:10.3. So he's lost time by about 3/10 of a second. And Higgsy's going very slowly. I do believe that he went off somewhere, which is probably why his lap got a bit compromised there. With 9 minutes to go. Someone had just asked me, is this a private league? Yes, it is. Its sign-ups were closed ages ago, but at least you can enjoy the action here today. Now, the banking kind of reminds me of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the famous Tarzan corner, as you'd like to call it. And that's one of the reasons why it will remain a proper challenging driver's track. But the banking is one of my favourite parts of the track. It's just so fascinating to drive over one lap. But it's just going to be, from my predictions, it's just going to be really hard to overtake. If you were watching the test race for Lobby 2, then it was quite hard to overtake in some places. Bitto did won that one. Bitto would have been tier 1 if he didn't use ABS. But he's here now. And he's looking to get a win here. But I'm guessing he's saving his pace up until the very last second, as Cryptic has invalidated his lap. That is not good for the Red Bull driver as he comes across the line. And I thought he'd be going to the pits, but he's got 8 minutes left to go. So, no time to be lost there. Max Thorn in the Red Bull, now going on his lap. He's now a full-time driver. So he's got a point to prove. Max finished 8th last week, which is his best result. He's looking to score even more points this week. And he's looking to turn a tide in his mentality. I have definitely seen an improvement. I was watching one of the Rag Nation races on Saturday with the classic cars, and he definitely turned the corner. He definitely showed that he wanted to race really well, and hopefully we will see the same tonight as he's about to start his lap 2. And I've just realised something as well. The good thing is, because I commentated on Ryzen's lap, usually I get cursed with people invalidating, but it wasn't invalidated, so that is, to be honest, one of the best news I've heard all day. Best news I heard all day, that it wasn't invalidated. Also, thank you for the follows, by the way. Alerts are turned off for this stream, so that's why you will not be seeing much on the alert side of me checking the chat as much, unless it is related to the race. Now, if Paddock or Higgsy is not careful, they're going to be probably in a one-shot qualifying session pretty soon. And that is not where you want to be in, because one-shot qualifying, obviously your times will be a lot slower. As Paddock, 1:10.2. Higgsy, I think Higgsy will be the person to definitely watch out for and target. 1:21.8, that's definitely not representative. Zoro won at 8.9, so he improves. But he's looking to get better, of course. TX looking pretty good at the moment in the McLaren. Showing the halo off in full glory. He's got a bit of a toe from the guy in front, so this might help him a little bit with the slipstream. Coming towards the banking now. Yellow flag would probably not have helped him, but there we go. He comes across the line now, and it is a 1:08.9, so he gets on pole position for the Dutch Grand Prix at the moment. That is very, very impressive for him. The McLarens are definitely doing much better in real life, of course. With Sainz unfortunately missing out in Mugello, but due to no fault of his own, though. But it's great to see a car in real life that didn't do so well, but then finally turned the tide. One thing I would like to see, though, is the Williams in real life do well. Just like in this game. Because that is really where they start to shine, I think. One thing I've noticed as well is the Renault's changed a bit in the livery as well with the blue. You probably won't be able to see it just yet. Just wait until it gets past turn 1. Yeah, just look at that. It just fits so nicely on the car. You probably won't be able to see it clearly, but there we go. Hopefully the drivers will give me some sort of indication about what the weather is going to be like in the race. Because usually, for most races I've watched around Zandvoort, it tends to rain. Luckily, the race I commentated on around Zandvoort yesterday didn't rain. So hopefully, the vibes that I bring to this commentary today will make the game be like, right, this lobby has got to be a dry race. But due to a few people on the mediums, this may mean it could be a dry race. You never know. As we've got 4 minutes left to go, a few people, they're leaving a bit too late for their second laps. That means it's probably only their either second to last opportunity or even their last opportunity to get the best lap in as they possibly can. And Burke, he's going to leave it all to do now. He's 8th place. The gaps are quite close between everyone right now. 9/10. Now, another track that we could see close qualified is Austria and also Monaco too. And Italy. But we'll see as Burke is about to start his final lap. A few people are waiting until the until it gets obviously close to the end of the session. They are waiting for the calm before the storm moment. And can you just let me know if my mic's okay, by the way, as well? Because when I started the stream last night, my mic sounded very roboty. And it was very frustrating for me. So if I just unmute just for a second. Right, it's fine at the moment. That's all good. As whilst that happened, Ryzen has spun and he's hit the wall. Oh my goodness, that was a nasty shunt. And he's reset to track as well, and I caught that, and I don't think you will be allowed to do reset to track, so we may get a warning or a penalty from the stewards. A lot of these guys like this track on this game. That's where a lot of these drivers will go first on the F1 2020 game, is around one of the new tracks, and Zandvoort being the most popular one. I've just been told by the Tier 2 drivers that it's going to be a dry race. So hopefully these guys do not lie to me, but it is going to be a dry race. So that is something that I think all drivers are going to be relieved about. And just look at that lovely helicopter shot. Absolutely gorgeous. And we're going to see who's going to come out on top. Bitto around 110 behind pole. The top two separated by 3 hundredths of a second. The top 3, 4 hundredths. That is insane. So I really do hope this will get even closer as well. Maybe I want to see what Higsy can do. Higsy hasn't set a representative lap time yet, and he hasn't got very long at all. Or maybe he's a bit more inclined to start at the back of the grid potentially. That's maybe what he wants to do. Zorro can't improve though. He has retired. He's been in sector 1. I think that little corner way, it feels like you're drifting. That's where he's binned it. And a few people are going to get caught out by that. So that is Zorro's qualifying done. Done and dusted. So hopefully for him, no one else is going to improve. But due to the nature of this track and the track starting evolving, to be honest, it will start to improve. No question about it, as Higsy has retired. So he's going to be starting in last place. We only got 18 drivers today, but better than nothing. A few people just wait for the perfect moment to get some clear air. Bitto taking the shortest run to the line to start his final lap. Actually, no, it's not his final lap. He's got pole. 1:8.84 for Bitto. And as I can see, we've got a few Bitto fans in the chat as well. So, fair play to Bitto. Now, apologies if I've been taking quite a few drinks. My throat's been really dry all day today. So that's why I've been taking a little bit more drinks than usual. TX is going past a few corners now. And Dragon doing the same as well. I'm just going to see, as General Pape has retired as well, we've got a Haas about to cross the line. That's not Sig. He's going into the pits. Pazik is going into the pits too. We do have a Williams of Black Sheep. He's going to cross the line just as the checkered flag is about to drop, and that puts him in P7. Next to come across the line would be an AlphaTauri, which is an Xana. He needs to improve on his consistency and get involved in less incidents. Let's see if he can do that tonight. What time will it be for him? A 1:09.198. Next we got the parent team of the Red Bull. It's not Max Verstappen, it is Cryptic. Let's see how we can manage. Max Verstappen finishes across the line in 9th, followed by Cryptic. 5th place. Next will come across the line will be the two Mercedes. Burt comes across the line first. Let's see if he can improve on his 11th. He goes to 9th. What about Set? Would he be near his teammate? Yes, he gets P7. So that's pretty good. Bitter goes into the pit, and apart from Valu, who can only manage P11, no one else can improve, but maybe Dragon, though. We will see as Dragon comes across the line. And he does not improve either. So, your pole man is MOL Bitto, Alex Bitto, as to you and me. And there we go. He is going to be on pole position for today's Dutch Grand Prix. To be honest, I am very excited for the Dutch Grand Prix. It's going to be absolutely exciting. And I hope you are too. So we're just going to be waiting for the qualifying results to show. And Sig and Meadow, if you're watching, please retire from the session. If that will be great, please. Oh, we might have a lobby issue because TX has joined just before the formation lap. So, yes. It's annoying that they haven't fixed the glitch where when after the checkered flag and it's still in the pits, it doesn't retire you. So hopefully we will get that. They will be told, obviously, to retire. As Meto has done it. And Sig, come on, Sig. Just retire, mate. We haven't got all day. We haven't got all day for Sig, so we're just waiting for him. So, 36 laps, I believe, around this circuit. Dry race, I believe it's going to be sunny. No overcast, unless it's cloudy, but I will double check with the drivers on that one. There we go, Sig has retired. Thank you very much. So, Bitter on pole with TX in second, Zora in third, Dragon in fourth, Cryptic in fifth, Nixana in sixth, Set in seventh, Paddock in eighth, Black Sheep in ninth, Burke in 10th, Value in 11th, Max Vaughan in 12th, General Pepe in 13th, Calusa 14th, Sig 15th, Meto in 16th, Ryzen in 17th, and Higgsy in last position. So that is your results for qualifying then, and we're about to get in to the race action. Hopefully everybody is excited for what to come up for this. The run into turn 1 is going to be very interesting. Usually the one on the right hand side of our screens would be the one that gets the better line, but sometimes it's the one that's starting on the left. But we'll see. We shall see as we are about to start this session. And obviously the top 10, I believe all the top 10 have qualified on the soft compounder tyres, so they will be starting on those for the session as we are waiting for everybody to ready up. And I'm about to actually show you, if I get my scene up, there we go, that it is overcast, so it's not sunny at the moment, so you never know, it could throw a sprinkle of rain. Cody's usually likes to throw a little bit of a spanner in the works, I've got to say. So we're about to get started then. As you can see, the strategy has already popped up on my screen. Laps 12 to 14 for the softs to the hards, and if they want a 2-stop, laps 10 to 14 for the first stint, and laps 21 to 25 for the second stint. So let me just go through the tyres. I forgot to actually tell you what the gap was in qualifying, but fair play for qualifying to be so close today. It just goes to show that these drivers do an incredible job to make sure that they do well. So, top 10 on the softs. As well as that, we've also got the ones on free choice. We've got Max Vaughan on the softs, Calusa on the softs, Meto on the softs, Ryzen on the softs. On the mediums, we've got Value and Higgsy. And on the hard compound tyres, we've got General, Pepe and Sig. Everybody else is ready to go. Now, due to the fact that it's quite overcast, usually the tyre temps could be a bit more tricky to manage to get them warmed up at the start of the formation lap, so they got to be a bit more careful. That's probably why we're seeing a little bit more weaving than usual. One other thing they introduced in the patch is the drivers actually get a choice in the settings on the overtake button on how they manage that. If they want, they can now hold the overtake button and map it. And then when they finish with it, they can unpress it, which I think is a good idea. Personally, I wouldn't use it myself because it would be really hard for me to manage, but for some drivers that like that functionality, it's really good. I used it at the start of F1 2020 as a mistake, but it turns out you didn't have to hold that. You could just leave it unholded. And to be honest, I felt quite embarrassed about that situation, but we're just waiting for Higgsy to be the last of the runners. Here we go. 5 red lights are on. TX on the right. Bitto, your pole man on the left. And we got a host glitch start, I think, I've got to say. So hopefully Zoro will let Bitto through, which I think he does, as they all go side by side into turn 1. Bitto leads then from Zoro. And then we've got TX has dropped down into 3rd place. And we've got the Red Bull and the Racing Point going side by side here into this tricky little chicane. And it's going to try and get the right hand side. We're not going to see much moves here until lap 1. Lap 1 here is where they may start to make a little bit more risks here today. And now going to turn 7 and then turn 8 and 9 and 10 and then going into the back straight. Obviously they won't enable the DRS straight yet. Ignore the blue flags, by the way. Ignore the blue flags. That's just something that the game has not fixed, unfortunately. We do have a yellow flag. That is Higgsy. 2.3 seconds, I believe. So he's dropped a little bit, even though he's in 15th place. He's going to try and see if he can get a move. But he doesn't. We're not on lap 3, by the way, before you ask. We're on lap 2, so DRS won't be enabled yet. Still more of a chance for some of these guys to think on their feet a little bit more in terms of strategy. We will see a lot more lockups to the rear end, I think, as well, due to tyre temps. And I'm surprised that not many people have spun out. I thought a lot more people would spun out due to these colder temperatures, but they are coping. They must have warmed their tyres up a little bit more as well. So that's pretty good as well. Oh, as for some reason, my controller has decided to unplug itself. So excuse me a minute. Apologies about that you're missing a battle. And unfortunately, Ryzen has spun. So another one to get caught out by the track temperatures. And he's lagging a bit as well, which is a bit of a shame. Bit of leads by 1.9 seconds. TX catching up to Zoro in front. He will be in DRS territory very, very soon. The prancing McLaren versus the ever-charging Ferrari. Ferrari looking a lot better on this game than in real life. Hopefully, Ferrari in real life will change its fortunes a little bit. To be honest, I really hope it does. Because it's a little bit unfair that a few of these guys are getting caught up in incidents like this due to, well, really no fault of their own. But luckily everyone is so far running okay, and that's not meant to happen. I was meant to check the Twitch chat. There we go. I paused that. We've got a battle in the midfield between Max and Seth as well. Let's see who are the biggest gainers of the race so far. But before that, this is where we'll see the DRS come into full effect here. Here comes Max on Seth. He's not going to get the move though. What about Pazik and Ixana? Pazik is looking very, very racy now in that Haas car. Looking to score some more points for the Haas team. A few people in this grid have not scored any points whatsoever. So, obviously something to watch out for. And I'm seeing if Max has got ever closer to the two Mercedes boys and the Williams. Well, Max has got past Seth. Is he going to get past Black Sheep? Black Sheep, I think, as Max had a little bit of a swerve there, that would have compromised him a little bit more, but he was definitely gaining there. He was trying his best to not make too many mistakes. I think if he went for that move, it would have caused so many bad implications. So, to be honest, I think he did the right thing for not going for the move. So let's see then. Black Sheep trying to cover off, well, trying to attack Black Sheep, which he doesn't. And we could start to see, I think, a few losers as well. So Zora's gained 1. Haddock's gained 1. Black Sheep's gained 1. Max Thorn has gained 3. Calussa's gained 3. Hixie's gained 5. Meadow has gained 1. And the biggest loser, Burke, in the Mercedes. Burke has dropped down 8 places of the start. That is not what you want. And if I was Toto Wolff, I'd be worried now. I do believe Burke is disconnected, though. Or he might be ghosted. He might be lapped. Actually, nah. I don't think he's lapped already. Surely not. He's surely not lapped already. I think he's absolutely fine. So lap 6 of 36 now. It is crunch time. We can see that the action zone is using in full effect. TX with a big lunge into turn 2, heading into turn 3. Fantastic stuff for the McLaren driver. Doing a sights there. And he's up into P3. Just like that. Dragon needs some luck here if he wants to do all he can to get that move done. I mean, it is heartbreaking if you lose so many positions like that. And it's going to be people in front of him that are going to be in grave danger if they're not careful. So Dragon needs to watch out for the likes of Cryptic, who's catching. For the likes of Nixana, that's catching. We got a yellow flag. Who is that? That is Set, that spun towards the DRS straight. I told you, if your tyres get too hot or too cold, then you're more than likely to spin, and that's not going to do your tyres any favour without in any way, shape or form. So for Set, not very impressive. That means both of the Mercedes are now down in last place. And if you just excuse me a minute, I need to ban this guy, if it lets me, on the chat, unless any of the mods are in here, but I don't think they are, so I will have to do it myself. And you'll just about hear me for a second. I lost him now. I lost him where he was. Nope, he's gone now. He's gone now, I think. So it's all good. But anyway, Nixana's getting a 3-second time penalty due to multiple warnings. So we're starting to see penalties really coming to fruition here. And I think I was commentating PSG out F2 last night, and we saw penalties can really decide this race. And it does happen. It just, and it can help you if you have no penalties, for example. But it cannot help you if you start to gain penalties. I remember in a test race, I think all but one person got a penalty. Meanwhile, Max Thorn is trying to go for a really fantastic move here. Let's see if he can keep this line. He's really got to, and he's done it really, really well. Hold off of Pazik here, and he's up into 7th place. Max Thorn is a driver that is growing leaps and bounds in this game so far, and he is doing fantastic. He is showing that he is a man that he's wanting to improve. He's not the same man I've seen in the last game at the moment. He wants to get rid of those memes, those no-rim memes and stuff like that. He wants to be just ordinary Max who likes to race and has a good time. And at the moment, Max Thorn is proving that today. So every single one of us, to me, to the drivers that are racing alongside him, and to the commentators as well. So well done to Max Thorn. Very, very impressive. So watch out for the pit window pretty soon as well. Laps 11 to 14. And we can see almost going too wide here. And we can see that the McLaren wants those two to keep battling, because then he can stretch the gap a little bit, which he's trying to do. So well done to him. He's doing all his best to do it. Dragon is in danger. I did say earlier on he could be in danger of losing yet another position. That is not what you want from Dragon. Maybe if I was Dragon, I would go into the pits pretty soon, in about a few laps time, get the undercut going. So then you'll be in free traffic, you can get some clear air and try and help you get towards the end of this race. That's what I would do in this situation, but it's entirely up to Dragon. He might not be watching the stream, so he's probably not listening to a word I said, but that's what I would do. Obviously we don't pit now, but he's going to see if he can try and get past TX first, which is going to be a tough ask for him. We'll see as TX covers him off. He says, no thank you, you're not having that P3. That P3 position is mine. Let's look at the battles midway as well. Matt on the charge once again, but we have a yellow flag to contend with, and that's Kalissa that spun. I need to remember the turn names. I think that was just before the DR, just actually turn 1 as well. That's caught quite a few people off guard. Luckily, I don't think anyone's got damage from that. Has anyone pitted yet? Let me have a look. No one's pitted yet, so everybody has got away scot-free with either no damage or, you know, just only little damage, and they can keep going with this race. And that's the first race I've ever seen in the world that has done that. So well done to all these Tier 2 drivers for absolutely keeping it clean at the moment. That is what I like to see with all these drivers. Let's hope it can happen for the rest of this race. So Kalissa has now got a big job to do now down in 17th. Meanwhile, Max Thorn this time gets a move on Exana, and he's up into 6th place. So Max Thorn, he's on a mission, and he's showing that he's quite fast around this circuit. The fastest lap so far is set by Alex Bitter though, 1:14.8. Max Thorn, 1:12.4, so he's not that far off. Cryptic the same lap time, so maybe the teammates are working together, and that's important. If I had a teammate in the league, it's very important that I'd get on with the teammate very, very well. And if I don't get on along with that teammate, then it's going to be a bit of an issue. So, something to be a bit wary of course. Pit window is coming soon. If I was Dragon, I would think about pitting right now. This is when the pit window opens. This could be his best opportunity. The pit's planet is blue, so I'm assuming that's his pit window. TX is going to do exactly the same thing. Hopefully they don't touch. They just about not touch. Oh my goodness, that is an absolute relief there. Max Thorn stays out, so does Cryptic, Zoro and Bitto. Obviously Bitto would stay out because he was caught in less traffic. So the ones that just pitted, apart from TX, is going for the hards. TX is going for the mediums. There is no way. There's no way that the mediums are going to go to the end. I mean, if it does go to the end, then fair play to TX, but at this rate, I would do a 2-stop because you just got to lose so much ground, and according to my notes, the crossover point is going to be very imminent towards the end of the race if TX doesn't react fast. The people on the hards are going to be ever so faster towards the end. So it's around about, if I do the crossover point correctly, it's around about 18 laps. So I think around about lap 32, I think, potentially, is when the crossover point will be between the mediums and the hards for the likes of TX. Cryptic goes into the pits as well, and he's also on the medium, so another person that could be opting for the 2-stop strategy. Or maybe Cryptic and TX are seeing something that we're not seeing. Well, they could be seeing a safety car. There was a safety car for the last few races. Obviously, I missed Vietnam due to some technical issues, unfortunately, which, it happened, I mean, but I think it looks like that we don't have any issues so far, which I think is a huge relief for these guys to have a race to watch back on. So, interestingly enough, that these top three are staying out. I'm surprised that Bitto stayed out longer than he did, but obviously, since the soft last 14 laps, he could go up to 14 laps, and knowing that he's a fast guy, whatever strategy he does, he makes it work, as long as he doesn't disconnect again, touch wood. So, let's all pray for the Renault driver of Bitto in the chat. I wonder, what should we get? What mode should we get? I still need to actually make a mode for my channel, but there we go. And Zora and Max stay out, though. Are they going to stay out for quite a bit? Because otherwise they could be in puncher territory. And then as soon as these guys pit, we could be on for quite a bit of a race for quite some time. But do not worry, there's still a lot of things to talk about. Their mentality is just as important. They've got to be they've got to concentrate really hard on the track. Do not lose their momentum. Do not lose their rhythm as well, because if you lose your rhythm and flow, then that's it. 1 minute you could be on the track, the next minute you could be on the gravel track. It is that easy around here, which is a shame. Meanwhile, Zoro goes into the pits. Max has to respond to that, surely, which he does. So, Bitto being comfortably ahead of them, obviously due to the gap that they had a few laps ago. Max still out though, but that means Max making a bit of a mistake. Now, if I was Max, I would let Bitto through. Bitto's on a different strategy than you. You're going to be behind him anyway. If you stay in front of him and try to hold him up, you're more than likely going to hold yourself up too, and you're going to lose so much time to everybody else behind. And you're going to probably be in danger of dropping outside the points due to everyone else pitting. Meto is the only other driver that has yet to pit for the hard tyres, but he's in a big DRS train right now. A truly train, as I like to call it. And Meto slowed down. Oh, that's Geno Pepe that spun, and Meto's got a puncher, I believe. Let me have a look. Yes, he has. Puncher, front left. That is interesting. But I did say the soft last 14 laps. It can't last any longer, so I don't think he was doing any short shifting to help save his tyres. So if he pitted a lap earlier, he would have been absolutely fine. But no, he took the risk and it did not pay off for him. So here we go then. Meto goes into the pit, lost a bit of ground here. More people going on the mediums. So maybe a lot of people think that the two stock could be faster. Here we go then, and we've got Cryptic and Dragon going side by side to get again, continuing the battle that they had last time about. Let's see Cryptic getting the better traction and the better entry. Going full throttle here. You're going to be going to around about 6th gear here. And then a little bit of a braking zone here. Dragon covering off the right-hand curve, which is very good to see. But this time, Dragon going to the left. What is he going to do now? What is he going to think? Dragon needs to think in the mind of Cryptic. And that is important for him. And he's doing his best. But it also depends on the setup too. Now I'm going to switch the light on because it's really, really dark in here. As we are seeing more moves being made from a few of the drivers, as Cryptic's being under pressure from Zoro now. Zoro with a fantastic move and you possibly did not see coming. Zoro up into 4th place on those fresher mediums. We got a yellow flag. And who's that? That is Mercedes that stopped. Luckily, the track map is very helpful with this kind of things. And that is Burke, sadly, down in last place. Meanwhile, his teammate, though, on the hards, I know. Both of these guys will need to pit. But Set down in 13th place. I wonder what Set will be doing towards the end of the Grand Prix. Would he think about pitting again? Or would he be able to make it to the end? Now, I don't think those tyres will make it to the end from here, but never say never. Because anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. Remember Italy? We always thought that it was going to be a Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen podium. But no, we were wrong. We saw Gasly, Sainz, Stroll. Who would have thought it? And at the moment, we're seeing Bitter, Higsy and Dragon. Well, obviously, Higsy is one of the drivers that are still yet to pit, of course, so he's got a lot of work to do to try and capitalise on his mistakes, but everybody else has pitted at least once in the top 8. In the top 10, however, Sig still yet to pit. And thank you to all of those of you that are watching the stream so far. And Higsy's taken those medium tyres for a very long time, so maybe he is one of those guys that also wants to go for the soft compounder tyres, potentially. Meanwhile, Zora and Dragon going for a move once again. This is kind of like round 2. And we got Dragon trying to catch up to Zoro too now. I think Dragon and Cryptic were caught napping after their battle, which is probably why Zoro ended up past him. And Dragon now getting a 3-second time penalty. So the ones around him that do not have any penalties yet, maybe they do not know. Maybe they don't ask their Jeff, but usually if I'm a Jeff or anything like that, if you are a Jeff, then you would probably have a little bit of a think as well. So, lap 20. Someone has gone off. It's Max! No, it's Max has gone off a little bit. He was running so well, but unfortunately, I think he made a little bit of a mistake going towards the Audi corner. And that's hurt him a little bit of time. Not just a little bit, quite a lot actually. He was in 6th and now he's all the way down into 10th. However, he is still on course for getting his point again. Could he keep his point streak alive? That is the important thing. And let us know your predictions in chat, guys. Do you think the predictions are going to be staying the same? We got another yellow flag. That unfortunately is Pazik. Where is he? There he is. Again, another disappointment for Pazik so far. Just missing out on points, but there's still some drivers yet to pit, so points are still possible for the young driver. Most of these drivers are young, so they are learning quite a lot around this track, as we got another yellow flag again, which I didn't quite see where that was. Just before the DRS straight, I think, into sector 2. Sig goes into the pits then and changes his tyres, and the medium compounder tyres he goes, and he changes his front wing. So he must have picked damage along the way. Pepe needs to pit, Higsy needs to pit. I'm surprised Higsy hasn't got a puncher yet. But knowing Higsy, you never know, you might get one, but hopefully he doesn't. Or he might have got a puncher on the back of the car. But it's impossible to tell, but I don't think he's going slower. So I think he's absolutely fine and he can cope. So all prayers are answered with that one. And Ixana getting a penalty too. And Higsy goes into the pits. So Higsy was a little bit too close for comfort. He did save it. But, however, he is going to be dropping way down the order. And quite a few yellow flags as well. As we got another Mercedes just going off in sector 2. It looked like it was a gravel trap. So Higsy just comes out ahead of Max Vaughan. Max Vaughan now back up into 7th place. So I'm guessing him dropping down a few positions did not hurt Max in the slightest. So if I was a Max Vaughan fan, I would probably be very, very relieved right now. As much as me more than anything as well. And I would like to hear your thoughts in the chat as well. Would you like to see Mugello come back to F1 after the race on Sunday? Personally, I've got a bit of mixed bags about the situation. The only reason why I was good because of the fact there was red flags and it forces people to make more overtakes, and apart from that, it was not the best, but you know, it's to do what you got to do. George Russell almost got his first point. To be honest, I'm still gutted to this day that he just missed out. That last yellow flag did not help him there. If that last flag didn't happen, then he would have got points. You show. I would say another word, but I am not allowed to say it on stream because that will be a bit rude, and we don't want a rude Jess in the chat, would we? No, we don't. So we're just gonna leave it there. So just look at the gap between first and second. 11.5 seconds. That is insane. Let's hope Bitto can keep his dominance. And no disconnections. Touch wood. I've done it twice now, so it can't happen. And hopefully the game hasn't played much tricks with him. So we're getting a 3-second time, but I did not see where he got it. He might have got it just before that corner. I don't know, not that far before turn 14. And sometimes we need a bit of a rude yes, I guess. Maybe. But I like to be a polite person, you see, Hash. I like being nice to drivers. I've got to be impartial with every stream I commentate, because otherwise there's just no point. There's just no point. You're gonna... And the driver, if they see you're biased to them in a good, bad way, then they're unlikely to watch a stream. So that's why I want to give as many drivers coverage as I possibly can. And for the majority of the battles we're seeing so far, the gap's around 3 tenths. And around Zandvoort, it's hard to follow a car with dirty air, so potentially 2 tenths is the best way, I think. So, you know, potentially something to watch out for in a way. Bitto with a 111.5. So there he goes. 12.2 seconds separating him. 12.3 now. Bitto and Zoro. But he's got Dragon to worry about, Cryptic to worry about. But Zoro is just going to hope that Dragon and Cryptic keep battling so he can pull up the gap. TX was in that position earlier. However, if he didn't make that mistake, he would have got that position, as we got someone that just pitted. General Pepe has got those tyres going for 24 laps, and he goes on the softs. So that's how long those hard tyres can last around this circuit. And with it being 11 laps to go and the soft lasting 14 laps, or 12 laps to go actually, then it will definitely get to the end. So General Pepe is going to be on a much faster tyre. The gap to him and Kalusa, 7.4 seconds. Can he find roughly about 7.4 seconds in the space of 11 laps? It's doable. We've seen other people do it in other leagues, you know. I mean, we've seen it. I've seen it quite a bit as well when I was racing. Set's getting a penalty as well. Set all the way down in 12th place. Now, I wonder what these drivers will be thinking in terms of what to improve for next time, because for a majority of these guys, the only experiences they had on this track is whether they're racing in other leagues or whether they were on a test circuit. So they don't have like last season's results to fall back on really. But at least they know how to improve for next time. So meanwhile, TX, he's just fighting hope they could get past Cryptic. Don't forget, some of these guys went for the gamble and went for the mediums. I did see one, I think I saw one that's here in one league, which I can't remember which one. One person did soft to mediums. I don't have a clue how they do that, because usually it's impossible. But we'll see anyway. TX getting a better run to turn 1. But again, not close enough to try and get Cryptic on this lap. So he is going to be waiting just a little bit longer to get past, which is, I have to say, a little bit unfortunate, but you know, you live and you learn, and sometimes you've got to do what's best for you and concentrate on trying to get the best position you can. TX wants a podium. He's already got a few penalties, I think. Unless he... Actually, no. Let me check penalties. So, Bitto. How many penalties has Bitto got? So, Bitto's got 1 warning. Zoro has got a penalty and 1 warning. Dragon has got a penalty. Cryptic has got a warning. And what about TX? Has TX got a penalty? No. So only a few of these guys in the top 5 do not have penalties. And we just saw Ryzen go into the pit, and he has got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is a shame, but with the new patch now, you do serve it when you go straight to the pit lane, which I think is good. And that means the 5 seconds will not get added to the end of the race, unless they may have 2 seconds, so they may have had one from earlier on, but we don't know. But from what I've seen, as soon as you get that 5-second stop go penalty in the pit lane, you will serve it straight away. And there's a danger as well that they could have penalty points as well in real life if they keep getting those stop goes and drive-throughs and speeding in the pit lane and stuff like that. And remember when Lewis got that 5-second stop go penalty when the pit lane was closed? Yep, he got that. And he also got penalty points too. So the drivers are very lucky not to get penalty points for this lead, because otherwise... But I think it would potentially encourage a few more of these guys just to be a little bit more careful. As I'm taking a little bit more sips to my drink so I could hydrate myself. As Hixie is 6 laps up on the soft tyres. Doing quite well, 4.9 seconds. General Pepe has dropped a bit from some of these guys, but he's 2.9 seconds behind Kalusa. Kalusa is on 30 lap pulse mediums. He may have to pit again, whereas General Pepe does not. So Kalusa, he's going to hope that those tyres make it to the end. So does TX, so does Cryptic, and so does Zoro. Dragon and Bitto, they're going to be hoping that the other guys' tyres die, and they're going to hope that they can have a good and comfortable gap to win this race. You never know. 13 gap already. I think even if Bitto went for softs, it would not matter. Meanwhile, Dragon and Zoro going side by side here. Zoro to the right, Dragon to the left. Dragon was forced to conceive. Zoro with a fantastic overtake puts him into P2. Could be on course for another podium. But please be warned, there are more penalties to come up. With Dragon holding on to his dear life around Zandvoort. He wants every position as you possibly can. You can see the Dutch flag. You can see the Max Verstappen army. All 18 cars are still in this race so far. And I've got to say, that is pretty good going for all these guys to keep it going after so long. Maybe Bitto is ready for the gap to form. We do have a ghosted car, which is Black Sheep. Black Sheep, unfortunately, is lapped, but luckily the cars are ghosted, so that means that the guys that are faster than you, they'll be able to overtake you. Just like me, usually. Because I'm usually the one that gets lapped. And to be honest with you, I find that quite a bit embarrassing. But it happens sometimes. But at least Black Sheep is still going, so I have to take my hat off to Black Sheep for even being a lap down, still managing to plough on. So keeping my fingers crossed so you can hold on to everything. So, we're now approaching lap 32 now, as Bitto crossed the line once again. 670 laps on the hards. The hards could go 24 laps. Zoro, let me just get my tyre data back up again. Hold on, if I just use my other screen. And do this thingy my bobby. 18 to 20 laps. Ooh, so